Hey family, so this is a game I have been waiting to get to the table and get before you for a long time. I was keen to get my minis painted, so they're all painted up with the core set, bar the Gatling gun. But everything's ready to go, so I've got it all set up. So this is Zombicide Undead or Alive. This is the core box, all painted up, ready to go. So what I've got then set up on the table is just the very first scenario. I just focus in here. This is what we're doing. So mission 0, in fact, it's facing the zombies. So this is the tutorial, so I thought I'd go through this with you and then go through the series of the other games as well. So really basic. Listen here, partner. It's your first pack of zombies and your first zombicide? Well, don't fret none. Bullets, put them down quick. Buckshot 2. Pickaxes. Just search them houses for everything you need. Keep them hard cold, and everything will get along fine and dandy. Keep an eye out for them corpse piles, though. Half of them will get up if you let them. So, take this here holy water and go to work. So, the core game is set. I randomly selected some characters to play with. The setup is done bar I need to grab a holy water, so we'll get that. That's for the very first scenario. You wouldn't normally have a vial of holy water to start you off, so this is just because it's the starting mission, just to kind of get used to the mechanics of the game and how it all works. So who do we want to give that to? So I don't need to give holy water to Thomas. So Thomas will be able to use normal water. So I just zoom back out there. So Thomas over here, he's the faithful. He can use normal water and make it holy water, being the faithful. So it's good with the fact that we've got holy water. We can give it to anyone at all. Quite handy are the brawlers, because they have the ability to be able to charge, which means they can move and fight, and the holy water itself can actually go in the backpack and be used from the backpack. You just throw it down on a corpse pile and it will get rid of that corpse pile as a spawn point, but we'll run through that as we go. So I mean, that's it for what we need. Otherwise, everything else is all set up and ready to go. So the premise is very simple. What we're going to have then is the board on the table. So we've already got some zombies spawned. So this will be a brute. They used to be called fatties in the original Zombicide world, so they've been renamed now to brutes. And then we have a runner. So runners are different to normal walkers in that they activate twice every turn. And then you've got your normal plebby zombie walkers, so they will move, so they activate once, so they move or attack if you happen to be in the same zone as them. And that's what you want to ultimately try and avoid here, is ending up in the same zone as a zombie, whoever that zombie is, whatever it is. Brutes are particularly hard to take down. They take 2 hits to eliminate. Runners take 1, and normal zombies take 1 hit. There is an abomination who may put in a show. Very likely, to be completely honest, with Zombicide Undead or Alive, there are definitely more abomination cards in the deck when it comes to Zombicide Undead or Alive compared to other Zombicide games. So it is on the harder side of things, but for me, I like that. I prefer that. I like the challenge. So here are our survivors, and we need to get from here and locate, recover these 2. So in fact, let's go through our objectives here. So mission 0, your first zombies, take all objectives, then reach the exit with all survivors. Any survivor may escape through the exit at the end of their turn, as long as there are no zombies on it. So this is where our survivors are. We need to get in here, we need to get over here, and we need to get back out again. and as you see, there's already a couple of zombies out there. We've got 2 spawn points. This is spawn point number 1, and what you would do is you would effectively go clockwise around the board. Obviously some boards are considerably bigger than this. This is a particularly small board. So you've got these 2 buildings. As soon as you enter building, you activate the corpse pile, and yeah, in short, that's in essence how it works. So with the survivors, what you get then is 3 actions per turn when you start out the game. All the survivors of their particular type have their own sort of starting equipment as well. So if we have a look over here, then we have Henry, who is a brawler. So he starts with a pan just to smack zombies on the head with, and I've given him the holy water. He's going to be our start character, which is why he's being allocated the sheriff shield there. So he'll be our start character. We then have Meg. Now Meg is a gunslinger, so her special ability is she can do fanning with her pistol, so she can actually roll all 6 dice, and any 6s will hit. So it gives us here, instead of rolling 1 dice and hitting on a 5+, so yeah, it kind of balancing the odds a little, gives you slightly better chance of being able to wound the zombies. And then over here we've got Jeb. Jeb is a townsfolk. The advantage of having a townsfolk, their core ability is they are able to search multiple times when they go into a building. So that's really, really useful, particularly being able to search lots and then hand out goods and equipment to the other survivors. And then going to the other side, who we have Trixie, another townsfolk, so again has that multi-search capability. Thomas I've already mentioned, so he has the ability to use water as holy water. He also has a Verdi Retro, which he can throw down, and what the Verdi Retro capability does for Thomas is when he's then shooting in an area that has zombies with the Verdi Retro, they are he gets +1 damage when in combat with them. Apologies, I was getting distracted looking at the camera thinking what's that. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, so he gets to do +1 damage, so particularly while he's starting out and he's only got a 1 damage weapon, it means that actually he can start looking at taking on this brute right off the bat, which is great. And then as and when that abomination comes out, he needs 3 points of damage to be able to take out, then he'll be currently the only person of the survivors who will be able to do that, provided we can get him a number 2 a 2-point damage weapon. Otherwise you'll be looking at something like dynamite, or maybe even one of these special bounty weapons, and I'll come back to those in a moment. And then finally we've got May, who is also a brawler, so similar to Henry on the left there. So as a brawl activity, they can charge, that's their special ability, and that means that they can move 2 places, and so once per turn you may spend 1 action to move up to 2 zones, to a zone containing a zombie, and then perform 1 free melee attack, and starts with 3 health as a brawler. Otherwise the other characters tend to start with maybe slightly lesser health, but certainly in the case of the Thomas there, and the case of Meg on the other side, the gunslinger. Okay, so back to the main table then. So the main board. Okay, so I've allocated Henry, who's going to start. So let's go ahead and get inside the building. So that's going to activate a spawn pile within here, but we can deactivate that straight away with throwing the holy water. So he's moved 1, he's moved 2, and then he's going to deactivate this spawn pile. Doesn't do anything else, but that's a good action. So we've got a safe house now that we are based in, so that's a good start. So but we are now in, this is one big open room, so we are now directly in line of sight of this particular zombie here, so he will be looking to head into this room when they activate, and I'll come on to what that looks like in a moment. So Henry's activated, so we're then going on to Meg, our gunslinger. So Meg will move 1 and 2, and while she's from there, as I say, we've got line of sight out into the street as well. So she's going to do her fanning capability. So let's have a look at that in action for us. Okay, so she's going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice, and she'll hit on a 6 plus, so which is the dynamite. So that is a 6. You'll see that there. So that zombie is dead, and she will get 1 AP for that, representing your sort of your XP. There we go. So I'll put that back over there. So that's a cracking start. So that's 1 down. So that's her done her actions. There is a room over here, so let's go ahead with Jeb finally then, who will move 1 and 2. We need to get some searching done, but he'll move in here so that he's ready to have a look and claim this. That will give him 5 experience, AP in this particular game. So then we're moving on to Trixie, who is the townsfolk on the other side. So 1 and 2, and she will search and see what she finds. So she has found a shotgun, which is slightly better than the Springfield, so it's better in range than the Springfield, and also hits on a 3 plus as opposed to the 5 plus of her starting Springfield. So I'm just going to cover up the Springfield now. So just to confirm how this works then, so they've got their main weapon that they can use, and then they can also then have 2 weapons to hand, so a left hand and right hand, and then they also have up to 3 slots for stuff in the backpack. Whenever you pick up an item, you can pause and juggle stuff around as you please, as you see fit. Otherwise, it's an action to actually organise your equipment. And then I did say I was going to come back to these as well. So these are the bounty weapons. So every bounty weapon, so there's a pile of bounty weapons here. They're all unique and different. So when you start up the game, you shuffle these up and you set them aside. And then at the very start, the top card, it has a requirement in order to get a bounty weapon. So for this particular one, we've got the bounty weapon being the heavy saber. So kill an abomination with your last action. So if you're able to undertake that task, then you acquire that bounty weapon. Sometimes in particular scenarios it may say, so as you can see here in this case, there are some special rules regards to setup. Sometimes in the setup it'll also say some special rules around whenever you gain an objective, for example, you also get to claim a bounty weapon, and in fact it does say here as well. So what you need, each objective gives 5 AP and the top bounty weapon if there are any left. The survivor who takes it, the survivor may reorganise inventory for free when they do that. So that is indeed what we'll be doing. So that's what Jeb is going to be doing over here. His townsfolk ability, but then like I say, you can very easily and switch that out with somebody else and give them that saber. So back to the actions. That was Trixie's actions. She moved and searched. Now she also shot and fired her gun, so the bang sound is now in this room. So this is again another change with this particular Zombicide. Often in the other Zombicide what you had was a plethora of noise tokens that you'd have to then continually be managing across the board. How they revise that within Undead or Alive is a single bang or boom token. The boom is used if you're using the likes of dynamite or the Gatling gun, which you may see in later scenarios. With the bang, any noise, the last place where that noise occurred, that's where that bang moves. At the point where the zombies reach where that bang is, the bang then moves to the largest cluster of where the survivors are, so it kind of keeps them going. So at any point where zombies don't have line of sight, so like these guys here right now don't have any line of sight of any heroes. This one does have line of sight currently to these heroes, but when they all move into the building they won't have line of sight. They will then be attracted to where the last loud noise was. and they will then travel to that instead. So there is that additional constant level of threat and that driving factor if there isn't line of sight in place. Okay, so moving on to Thomas, so he'll do one. So he'll do 1 and 2, throw down his Vediretro, and then 3. And what the Vediretro also does is, at the point when these go to activate, if they're in a space with the Vediretro, then the Vediretro comes off and it basically eliminates that action for all zombies within that zone. So particularly great way of being able to control the likes of the Abomination when he comes out. And then finally down to May, so she'll move, and she'll do a search. And she's found dynamite, fantastic. So we can use that, so we can stick that straight in the backpack. So that will go straight in her backpack over here. It doesn't need to be in her hand to use it, so you just whip it straight out of the backpack. It has a range 0 to 1, so 0 being the space that you're in. You generally don't want to be throwing it from the space you're in because it will kill everyone there. And yeah, great for taking out those Abomination. Basically, will kill all actors in a single zone. So moving on now to the zombies, so they will activate. So as I mentioned, runners will activate twice, so they are now, so he is now in the room with us, and it's an equidistance for this guy. So yeah, just double checking and verifying that in the case of multiple routes available to the to a single, in the case of a single zombie, they will choose which way to go. So players get to choose which way to go, so that's fine. I had to double check. There are different rules for different zombicides, but that's how it works for Undead Alive, so that's fine. So these guys now have visibility, and we have a runner, and now we're going to go through and activate the spawn zone. So starting with number 1, we have 4 walkers. So everyone is currently in the blue zone, and the way that Zombicide ramps up then is as our heroes continue to level up, what you'll get is this continual driving up of the number of zombies pouring onto the board. So as we progress and become more and more adept at killing zombies, they likewise become more and more adept at proliferating the board. So in this zone here we have 4 walkers. I'll just grab a handful of those. They're starting out. We don't have an Abomination yet, so that Abomination zone doesn't occur as yet. We're over here on the next spawn zone, and it's the Abomination. So yeah, didn't take long for him to appear. So he's over here, as far away from us as can be. That'll do for starters. And then we have no, that was it, in fact, apologies. We don't need to put another card, it's just those 2 zones presently, but that now is activated for next time. So yeah, there was a corpse bar here, but we eliminated that, so that's done with. Okay, so, and that's it, it's as simple as that, and then we continue to progress. So we're back down, so Henry is no longer the first character, so we're going to pass the sheriff's badge now from Henry to the next in order, so that will now go to Meg. So we'll go back to the main board now. So Meg, who is over here, so she has a runner in her zone. So what is she going to do? Let's have a look. So friendly fire doesn't count if you're in the same zone as the zombie and shooting in that same zone. So she will do fanning again, looking to take out as well. So she has to score 1 single hit, and she scores it on a 6. So that runner is gone. That's another XP for Meg. Okay, and she can now do fanning again on, because she can see this brute is about to come in. So let's see if she gets to take him out. Yep, so 6. Oh, in fact, no, she can't target the brute because he requires 2 points of damage, and the fanning old timer can only do 1 point of damage. So apologies, she'll target this other zombie that stood out on the other doorway. So she has taken him out on that side of the staircase. And then she does need, so she scores an extra VP, and she does need a better weapon, clearly. So let's search again. So she has some water. As I mentioned, not much good for, although you can use, so heroes can use water. So the way water works then is, so you can discard it to gain 3 AP, or Faithful can turn it into holy water. So she could discard it in order to move up from 3 AP to 6 AP. 7 would move her into the next level, which would give her an extra action per turn, but everyone else currently still doesn't have any AP at all, so that wouldn't be a good decision at this time. One of the key aspects of Zombicide is trying to balance the progression of your heroes as equally as possible, in order to try and maintain the progression of the zombies hordes coming on and attacking you. So moving on to Jeb, town folk. So he was going to claim this for 5 AP, and that also gains him the bounty weapon, as we read. So he has gained a saber, so it's got to be in the same zone as him, obviously, because it's hand-to-hand combat. Gets to roll 2 dice, hits on a 3+, and does 2 points of damage. So now gives the ability to be able to attack that abomination. But what he can do, so we're not overly worried, sorry, not the abomination, the brute, but what he can do is he can maybe pass that to someone like Henry or May, because they're both brawlers, so you get the ability to be able to charge, move 2 zones and attack all in one go. And then particularly with May, she has the ability to be able to also hit and run, so she can then, so she could run out there, attack the brute, and then hit and then run back into the room. So that's particularly good. So I think he's going to then move and give May that saber, and she'll cover that from her pan, because that's far more effective than the pan. So that is Jeb's actions done. So now we're over to the other side. So we've got Trixie, and she is going to, as townsfolk, she will search. So she's discovered a knife, not particularly fantastic with that townsfolk ability. She can search as many times as she wants. So she's got a Remington, so that's certainly more useful. 1 to 3 versus 0 to 2. 1 dice hits on a 4+. Yeah, not massively so. And she'll search again, and she's got plenty of shells, so you may re-roll all attacks with shelled weapons. So she doesn't, yeah, so shelled weapon does count for the shotgun that she picked up last time, so she does have a shelled weapon. So that's her 3 actions done. So moving on to Thomas the Faithful. Oh, do you know what? I shouldn't have even moved. Apologies, I shouldn't have even moved that. Okay. These guys are going to come into here on the next turn, so we're going to put the Villa Retro there. So that's Thomas's first action. Yeah, apologies, folks. I shouldn't have even moved that walker. He should have been stood where he was. That was faux pas on my part. Do I just undo that? It's minimal, isn't it, if I undo that? So apologies. I'll take the AP off, and I'll leave him there instead. So she didn't do that action, so she will. She did search, however. What else can she do? She'll give the holy water, the water to Thomas, so he can use that as holy water. Okay. So apologies. So Thomas will now throw his Veteretro into there, so that's his first action. He will also search, dynamite as well. Nice. Okay, so we're fully kitted out now to take out these A-bombs. And then a third action. Is it worth him shooting? He's got a pistol. Hits on a 1. I mean, with the Veteretro there, he could possibly take out the A-bomb on 5 or a 6. It's unlikely, but let's give it a go. 5 or 6. He'll take out the not the A-bomb, sorry, the brute standing at the door. Nope, it's a cowboy hat, so that's a 1, so that's a miss. So that's fine. And the bank's still in this room, so nothing further happens. It doesn't get XP. And then it's May's turn. So May, as a brawler, she gets to move up to 2 zones and attack as 1 action. So she'll move in there and use the saber. Where's the saber gone? Oh yeah, she covered the pan with the saber. So she's rolling 2 dice. Hits on a 3+. Let's come down here. Oh my gosh, how did she miss? Okay, so second action, she'll attack. There we go, 1 hit, and that brute is gone, so she gets to gain an XP for that. And with a hit and run ability, she can run back in there, and then she can search, and she finds a machete. So 1 dice, and hits on 3+, doing 2 points of damage, so similar but worse than the saber. Okay, so that's those done. So now the zombies activate. So as I mentioned, these zombies will move into this zone here. That is their activation. The abomination will move 1 towards the sound, and now this time he will move 1 towards the sound. Okay, so now we're drawing. So no one's in yellow yet, so we have 4 more walkers appearing on zone 1. So I'll put those out. Okay, so we've got 4 walkers, and we have 2 runners also appearing in zone 1, because we now have the A-bomb spawn point active. So they are there. We have this spawn zone over here, which is an extra activation for brutes. Thankfully we took care of the brutes, so nothing happens. And then finally, no, I've done it again. I didn't need to pull another one, so that's fine. Okay, so we've certainly got plenty of fodder to make our way through. We still need to get over here to this objective and back and out. So that's the plan, folks. That's what we need to do. Now, what I didn't mention is if we move into an area with a zombie and you want to then get out of that area with that zombie, you have to pay an extra movement for every zombie that's in that zone. Yeah, anyone going sort of 1, it would cost them 2, 3 to move there, and then they would be stuck there, putting them directly in line of sight of everything. And if the zombies have line of sight, they will head line of sight over noise. So you don't want to be doing that. So that's the reason why I'm not venturing out in there. And you'll notice with the train, there is no door on this building. So the only way into this building is via this entrance here. So really difficult to get through there. However, the likes of Trixie, her special ability is to be able to jump. Now I believe, and I will double check this now, but I believe that may give her the ability to jump up onto a balcony. My thinking is it gives her the ability to jump down from a balcony, certainly with a single action. Normally it will cost you 2, but I'm just going to double check her ability. Why am I missing a page? Open the page! Thank you. Okay, so jump. Survivor can use this skill once during each of their turns. The survivor spends 1 action. They move 2 zones into a zone on which they have line of sight, ignoring everything. This skill can be used to reach a balcony from the street and vice versa without using the stairs. There we go. Yeah, so that's double check, confirm that is the case. So yeah, and I really like the fact that you've got these classes, as it were, that give that nuanced capability for the survivors, as well as then the different unique abilities that they all have. But it can be a bit just to kind of track them all. So at the moment, Meg has a free reload and Henry has an additional charge per turn. So if there are lots of people staggered around, then Henry has the capability to kind of move and step through that. Okay, so yeah, still doesn't help where we are at the moment. We need to clear this zone. So the starting token has now moved, so we're dealing with Jeb first, and then we'll go to the other side of the characters and survivors. Sorry, so Jeb has the ability for point blank. Let me just double check what that ability is. Apologies, folks. So the survivor can perform ranged actions in their own zone no matter what. When resolving a range action at range 0, the survivor freely chooses targets, can eliminate any types of zombies. Their ranged weapons still need to inflict enough damage to eliminate targets. Cool. Okay, so yeah. But he currently only has a Springfield because he's been busy focusing on acquiring that objective. So let's do a search. He's got some holy water, so that's handy getting over here maybe. He can do another search, so machete, so 1 dice but can do 2 points of damage, hits on a 3+. Is it worth him doing a normal attack trying to shoot one of those zombies? Well, we'll do another search. Let's just another holy water. Okay, fair enough. Back in the backpack it goes. Okay, and your backpack is your hands combined with your backpack. That is a limit of things you can carry, at which point you start throwing stuff away. Just go straight into your discard pile of your items. So moving to the other side now then, so we have Trixie. So she has her shells now, which gives her the ability to re-roll for her shotgun, so that's quite nice. So she can, from here, let's take out this zombie first of all, which tries to sneak in through the back door. So we've got, so she'll hit on a, so she's rolling 1 dice, hits on a 3+. So 3+ it is, so that's that walker taken care of, so first XP. And the new bounty weapon is kill 3 zombies or more with a rifle in a single turn. So this is counted as a rifle. So that's the first zombie done. So let's just shuffle people around. So she's going to move to this doorway over here, and she's going to attack into this zone. So only running 1 dice. So it hits on a 3+. Yep. So that's another one gone. So that's her second action, and then finally again she'll shoot into that area, and it's a 6. So she takes out another walker. So that is indeed 3 walkers. Kills 3 zombies or more with a rifle in a single turn. She gets that bounty weapon, which is the coach gun. So let's have a look at that. So now she'll be rolling 3 dice, hitting on a 3+, and it does 1 point of damage. But yeah, that's a much better weapon than that shotgun, so we're going to move that out. But we'll just keep that in the backpack for now if it need be. So that's great. So the new bounty weapon now, gain 10 AP or more with dynamite. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, that's difficult. Not massively difficult, not with an A-bomb on the board. It's worth 5 AP, but it is difficult. Okay, but we've got some dynamite, so we may achieve that yet. We will see. Okay, so that was Trixie. We're moving on to Thomas. So the Vita Retro is still in here. That's fine, we'll leave it there. Thomas is going to do a search looking for a better weapon, and he's got a Remington, so that's better, certainly better than the old timer. So from 0 to 2, from 0 to 1, still rolling 1 dice, hits on a 4+ rather than 5+, so only does 1 point of damage. So He's got a better weapon. Let's do some attacking. So he's going to go and shoot at these remaining walkers there. So it was his first action was search. We're going to do a shoot. So it's just the one die, hits on a 4+. 4 it is. That's a walker gone and an XP, and he'll roll again. Oh, it's a miss. It would be a miss except he gets plus. Oh, it's +1 damage combat now, so that's fine. So no, she's just the 1 XP and there's nothing else in there, so it's fine. That is what it is. So moving on to May. So May can charge out and attack. She's got her trusted heavy saber, so she's doing 2 dice and hits on a 3+. Yep. So that walker is gone, and then she can jump back in with a hit and run ability. Then she'll do she gains another XP for that, and then she'll do a search and she gets plenty of bullets. So who would benefit more from plenty of bullets? I think Thomas would benefit from plenty of bullets because the Remington is bullets rather than shells. So let's do that. Okay. She's not used that yet. Okay, so there is a reload on the coach gun. So whilst it is a phenomenal weapon, it does have a reload, which puts it out of action. Now, someone like Meg on the other side would be able to use that. So I think she's going to claim that because that gives her a free reload. Her special ability is free reload every turn. So I think she is going to take the coach gun. So that's her first action. Is she going to move out? No. I don't want to. Do I want to? I don't want to move out. Where's Meg? She's there. So she's going to move up onto the balcony, which gives her the ability. So I flip back to the board. So she's going to move from the main room 1 zone up onto the balcony, which gives her line of sight down here and down here. So she can actually now shoot into this zone, providing she has the range. And the range from this zone is 1 into here, so she can do it. So she's spent 1 action taking the weapon. She spent the second action moving into the balcony, and now she's going to attack into this zone here. The order of priority is she has to attack the walkers before she can attack the runners. So that's where she's attacking. She's rolling 3 dice and she will get a free reload as well. And hitting on a 3+, she takes out 2 of the walkers from that zone, which gives her another 2 XP. So we'll mark that up and put those walkers back. So that was good. And that then requires a reload, which she'll then spend her free reload action undertaking. So that's her done her 3 actions, and then we've got Henry finally to do. So he can do an extra charge, but he can't get out. So is it worth the risk, bearing in mind the abomination is only 1 zone away? So he will move into here. Not really worth it. So let's do a search for Henry. So he's got a saber now, which gives him the ability to roll 2 dice and hit on a 3+. Certainly a lot better than his old pan that he had originally. So I've covered that up now. Now, because it's a brawler, he can't do any more searches. What's it worth him doing? Is it worth him charging in? Rolling 2 dice, hitting on a 3+. Is it worth the risk? Is it worth the risk? No, I'm not going to risk it. Unfortunately, there's very little else he could do. Is there a range weapon he could take from someone? He could maybe take the Remington from Trixie. She's in the same room as him. Yes, I think that's going to be a wise choice. Let's go with the, it's going to take a Remington from Trixie, just so he has a ranged weapon. And then there's nothing further he can do, so he's searched, he's taken an item. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, that's fine. So that is it for the hero's actions, and now we're moving on to zombies. So these guys activate, so they will move into there. The second activation for the runners doesn't occur because of the Veteretro, so that comes back to Thomas, and the abomination will activate. And now we're drawing for zombies. So zone 1, first of all, we have four runners. So they're going to appear in this zone with the A-bomb, and then the A-bomb spawn zone gets 2 walkers. That's where stuff starts getting proper crazy, and you start filling the zones in with zombies. And then the final spawn zone, the abomination activates again. Okay, so he is there. Right. We are proceeding with moving on the sheriff badge. So we now have Trixie acting next. She has her shotgun, which can't take out the A-bomb. And she has the ability to jump, but she can't get anywhere. Not at the moment. Not with those where they are. Now she's a townsfolk. However, she can do what she can do. Then is she can take. Oh, it's just a shame there's not one more zombie in there. It's 9, just one off the flipping AP. Anyway, okay, I think we're going to be able to make a dash for this, and then we're going to have to work out how to get out. Okay, Trixie is going to take the dynamite from Thomas, and then she'll use said dynamite to take out the abomination for 5 AP. So that puts her on 7, which puts us all into the yellow zone. And she also takes out these 2 runners, which is another 2 AP, and these 2 walkers as well, which is a further 2 AP. She's very firmly in that yellow zone now. So that's 2 actions. So she took a dynamite, she threw a dynamite. She has the jump ability. Not quite enough to get to where she needs to get to. She hasn't searched. Let's search. And she gets a Schofield. So 1 dice hits on a 4+, does 2 points of damage, so useful for taking out the brutes as and when they appear. Okay, so that's her done. Now then, we're then moving on to Thomas. So he's still got his Veteretro at the moment. It's possibly worth him. Is it worth him? Okay. So he's going to move 1 out into the street. And he'll throw down his Veteretro there. And in fact, before he moves, he'll do a search. And he gets a knife. Very useful. Thank you. It's better than a pan, I suppose. So that's Thomas done. So he's now stood waiting and ready and able. We're now moving on to why is that there? I thought I was supposed to be there. Anyway, apologies. So May has her hit and run ability, but she has a dynamite as well. That's more important right now. So she's going to move 1. she's going to chuck her dynamite and take out these 1, 2, 4 runners. So they're gone. Gives her 4 XP, putting her on 6. And she's going to take out the 2 walkers. So that will put her on 8. So she also gets her extra action per turn. And I didn't mark that up for Trixie. So let's mark her up, her extra action per turn. Oh, Trixie does have another action. Flipping heck, why did I search? Why did I search? Apologies, folks. I'm just redoing what I did because it means Trixie can move up onto that balcony with that extra action, because she'd have moved and then done her jump ability to move up onto that balcony. So we've got the 2 balconies covered on the board. I forgot she gained that extra action. So May has moved into the street. She's thrown her dynamite. And she now has 2 more actions because she's just leveled up. And you see how we've cleared this path now, which is fab. So 2 actions, but we need to hot put it around here, which you cannot do, not with 2 actions. And here lies the problem, folks. Extra activations could kill us at this stage. What to do? Heck, I'm gonna have to do it because I can't do anything other than flipping heck. Okay, so we're going to switch to the other side and we're doing Henry. And unfortunately you can't use, well, as far as I would play it, you can't use your charge ability to get the extra movement. You've got to have something to attack. You're charging at a zombie. If there isn't a zombie there, you can't use that charge ability. Otherwise he'd be able to absolutely hot foot it into there. So let's do 1, 2, 3. So he's in the same zone there, and I think that's about as good as that's going to get, to be honest with you. Meg, it's 2 to jump down. Should do a search where she is. A knife, thanks, of course. Flip it heck. And she'll make a noise. Not that it makes any difference right now. And there's nothing else worth her doing right now. So moving on to Jeb. So he's going to do 1, 2, 3. So at least we've got a cluster of survivors now here, ready to go. We've got the Villa Retro here, where these are going to spawn. We've got a couple of lookouts on the sentry points, the balconies. So yeah, so as you've seen, the way the balconies work, so that gives accessibility, visibility all the way down here, all the way down here for this one. I think we're as good as we're going to get here. So now no zombies to activate, so now we're spawning. This spawn zone has gone, at least for now. So spawn zone number 1, and we're in yellow. It's brutes, and it's 4 brutes, so they will come on into this zone here. And then we have one more zone which is over here, and that is another 4 brutes. Oh, that's really is nasty, folks. That really is nasty. Okay, I think we're going to have to try and work out how to take out these brutes with the guys that we've got on the floor, and get maybe Trixie to see if she can get in to the building and recover that objective. If that's what we need, then we can get out. Okay, so the sheriff badge is moving, and it's now Thomas's turn. So he has got the ability to shoot into there. He has got a Schofield, which gives him, so it's 1 dice, hits on a 4+, but will do 2 points of damage. Same as a Remington, and he has got extra bullets is his extra goodie here, so it does get re-rolls. Unfortunately, it's only the one dice roll, which is really annoying. But it is what it is, folks. Okay, so Thomas, you're up. Let's shoot and hopefully kill some brutes. So first one, yep, hits on a 4+. That brute is dead. So that's one gone. Second action hits on a 4+. That brute is dead. Another gone. We're doing well, Thomas. I'm impressed. That's a miss, but we'll use the plenty of shells. Oh, still a miss. Okay, never mind. So a bit of retro still there. So moving on, we've got May. Now May's over here. Now she is armed with her bounty weapon, so she absolutely can just charge straight in there with those brutes. Brave May. So it's one action to do a move and attack for her. So she's rolling 2 dice, hitting on a 3+. So 2 dice hitting on a 3+. Oof, so one is dead, and the other 2 fall over and faint. She'll attack again. Yep, 2 more dead. Nice. And third action. Oh, miss. Darn it. Fourth action. Yep, and that one's dead. Okay. Shame, because really wanted to be able to move her, but she can move back with her hit and run ability at least. So she is in a safe zone away from danger. Now we're moving to the other side of the board, and we have Henry. So Henry is just here, so he's gonna run I think into here. So we've got 1 and 2. Now that will activate the pile of corpses. Grab that. Now Henry doesn't have holy water, but Jeb does, and he's just there as well, so that's good. Okay, so he will claim this objective, so gaining 5 XP, so that takes him off the mark, and he claims a bounty weapon. The bounty weapon is let's have a look, the Henry repeater. Oh, that's handy. Henry has the Henry repeater. I think you should get an extra bonus because it matches his name. So the Henry repeater has 3 dice, hits on a 4+ and does 2 points of damage. Beautiful. And I mean, I know he's a brawler, so we'll just stick that in his hand for the time being. So that was all of his actions. So he did 1, 2, and pick up the objective. So moving on to Meg. So Meg has the coach gun, and she's up here. So she's going to shoot down at the brutes from the balcony over here. So with the coach gun, she's rolling 3 dice, hits on a 3+. Oh no, she can't because she's only doing 1 point of damage, so useless against brutes. Darn it, that's not what I wanted. Okay. What can she do? Not a lot. That is a shame. That is a shame, people. Okay. Fair enough. So she'll do a search where she is, and she gets a water. So she can drink the water for 3 AP. That will get her into yellow, so she may as well do that. So over here, then you can see she's down on 4 AP, so that gets her 1, 2, 3, puts her up into yellow. So she does get her extra action now, at least. Not that she can make use for it at the moment, but that's fine. It is what it is. Okay. So, and then we've got Jeb. So Jeb has the holy water, so he's going to move 1, 2, and from here he can throw it onto there and get rid of that. Survivor gains 5 AP. I'm sure I did a holy water for somebody else, but I can't remember who it was now. So he is now also in yellow and gains his extra action as well, but he'll stay in there, but in fact he'll search, why not? So he gains a Remington. Okay, so that's it for them. Okay, and we're now over to Trixie, as it was Thomas that started. So Trixie up on the other balcony, so she can see these in his line of sight, but she can't damage them because she's only doing 1 point of damage with her shotgun. So she'll search. Hey, excellent. So she has D's Bar's bow. It's only 1 dice, but it does 2 points of damage when it hits. So she's done 1 search. She's going to do roll 1 dice, trying to attack these brutes, and it's a hit on a 4+, so 1 brute is dead, gaining her another XP, and the other brute 4+, the other brute is dead also. Excellent. So we've cleared the board of zombies again. Fantastic, did a great job here, guys. And that is it for our play. So zombies activate, there are none, so now we're drawing cards. So the number 1 spawn zone first of all is walkers. We're in the yellow zone, so 6 walkers spawn in here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. There is no A-bomb, so then we're over here in the other spawn zone, and here he is. Here's the abomination. Okay, and that has just blocked my route coming out. Not great. We're gonna have to do searching fast, lots of. We've got to find more dynamite. Okay, the new bounty weapon, gain 3 AP or more by killing zombies at range 2 or more in a single turn. This was only range 1, so that doesn't count. Okay, this would have been range 2, so she can actually achieve that now. But whose turn is it next? It is May, who is here. So let's have a look. So May has her heavy saber, so it's doing 2 points of damage, rolling 2 dice, hitting on a 3+, but you cannot touch the abomination with 2 points of damage. There's nothing more she can do to improve that. She could charge into these, and I don't think she's going to have a choice, to be honest with you. She's got to clear something. The problem is these guys right now, he has line of sight to these guys. These guys are going to have to move. And I did try and seek up the clarity on, if you have someone on a balcony, although they have line of sight looking out, do the zombies have line of sight to the person on the balcony and therefore will pursue going into the building in order to get to that person on the balcony? I don't know. It kind of sounds logical, maybe. Otherwise they're going to be going towards where the last sound was. I'm thinking, and Deesbar's bow doesn't make a noise. She didn't shoot. I'm guessing that was the last place where noise occurred, maybe. Okay, anyway, back to May. So May is going to charge, so she'll move in and take a swing. So she's rolling 2 dice and hitting on a 3+. So attacking the walkers. Yep, 2 gone. So that's 2 more XP for May. And same again now, so this is her second action. Another 2 gone. And same again, so third action, and another 2 gone. So that clears that zone. Very powerful. Excellent, love it. 2, and she can now continue to move, so she can move up into that zone there. Okay, so that's it for her turn. So that was May, so now we're back over to the left side of the board, so we're with Henry. So Henry has, I mean, he's a brawler, but he's not going to get, I mean, he could just move and run past the A-bomb, but he'd only get as far as here, and the A-bomb will move into his zone because he hasn't got 4 actions as of yet, which is not great, and there's nothing he can kill. Therefore, I think the best bet right now is to move into here and search. And it doesn't help. It does not help. Is it better than what he's got already? It's probably, possibly better than that. Yes. So we'll put the Remington in the backpack and keep the shotgun. Okay, so that's as much as he can do. So moving on to Meg. So Meg will, so she's a gunslinger. So she will, so, apologies, that was my daughter offering me lunch. Very nice of her. Just let me know she's cooked mac and cheese. So Meg's turn. So she has a 1 point of damage weapon and a knife. Not much cop either way. She's up here on the balcony, there's nothing to attack, so she will do a search. Okay, plenty of bullets, which doesn't help with the coach gun. She can't search any more than that. She'll make a noise to draw attention to herself, and that's as much as she can do. It's frustrating. This is the bit where it does get a bit frustrating, but it's fine. It's part of the game. So we have now Jeb, who has holy water, but he's townsfolk, so we can do lots of searching. Hopefully, he has 4 actions now, so he's got plenty of shells, which is not useful for anything he has at the moment. He'll search again, and he has a tomahawk, which only does 1 point of damage. Search again. Flipping saber compared to a machete. 2 dice, 3+. Flipping heck. And he's going to have to move because he's going to have to get out of line of sight. And now we're over to Trixie. So Trixie, again, has no way to attack the abomination. She's up on a balcony, but she's townsfolk, so let's do some searching. Okay, so she's found a Colt SAA, which I'll keep over the knife. She's found second action, she's found plenty of bullets, so she's got plenty of shells and plenty of bullets now. Third action, she'll find holy water, and she may as well stay where she is and do a 4th search. More holy water. Great, thanks for that. Yeah, unlike water, you can't just drink holy water, it doesn't make any difference to you. And then we're finally on to Thomas. Holy, so he's put down his Veda Retro. I mean, he could move 2 and throw down the Veda Retro again. Which really doesn't help right now. So he will move, he will search. Plenty of bullets, which he's already got. And he'll move back out again. That's his 3 actions. Okay, that's it, folks. We're back to the main board, and the A-bomb will move. So he's moving towards the south, which is over here. So that's where he is heading. Draws him away from these guys, so these guys hopefully have a chance to get out. They can run up onto the balcony and jump down, but they will still be stuck in the middle of the street. But that is an option. In the meantime, let us spawn. We have 2 spawn zones here now active, the A-bomb. So first one, we have 4 brutes. Okay, got 4 of those, and then on the A-bomb we have activate all walkers. Thankfully we don't have any walkers, so we've got a breathing space there. And then over on this zone we have another 4 brutes. So let's put those out, so these guys certainly aren't coming out of that door in a hurry. Okay, so it is back to the survivors, and the first player marker has moved back to Henry, so we've now gone full circle. So we're over with Henry. He hasn't got anything that does, I mean, he's got stuff that does 2 points of damage. He's rolling 3 dice. It may be worth him trying to fight his way out of there, but I don't think it will be, because that will also then draw the noise back into this zone for the A-bomb to turn around and head back that way. Ideally want the A-bomb over here with the bit of retro, so that Thomas can have a chance to slay the A-bomb. Therefore, I thought it'd be useful to get him a couple of extra XP. But he is a brawler, and he'd be better to be fisticuffing them than not. But he doesn't have the option to do fisticuffs against brutes, because he hasn't got a weapon that will aid him in that. So let's move 1, and let's attack using the Henry repeater. Doesn't need a reload. He's rolling 3 dice, hitting on 4+. So into the cluster of brutes that are over here on the board, and he hits 4+, one of them. Darn it. That's his second action. Okay, he's going to do it again. Come on. 2 more done. Brilliant. So that gets him his extra action per turn. That was, he moved, shot, so that was his third action. The noise has moved over here for now. It won't be staying there for long, so we can take out these brutes. And we may as well kill the last brute, hopefully. So, third shot, yes, 5, excellent. So, extra XP, another brute gone. Fantastic. So he has now leveled up. We're moving on to Meg. So Meg will, what are we doing with Meg? So she's going to, so Meg is up here looking down onto here. She's got 1 point of damage, so she can't do anything from there. She have a coach gun, it's only got 1 point of damage. Anyway, it is what it is. So there's nothing she can attack again. What's it worth her doing? Anything? She'll search for one. Oh, it's a dynamite! It's a dynamite! It's dynamite! Oh, okay. Flipping heck. I mean, she could just chuck the dynamite down there and get rid of those brutes all in one go. Am I interested in doing that or not? Don't think I am. I think it's worth keeping for now. So she'll make noise back over here as a bang to keep them coming. Okay, moving on to Jeb. So Jeb, 1, 2, 3, moves up onto the balcony and jumps down into the street. And he will do a search before he leaps. A knife. Okay, let's just get rid of that then. Okay, so over onto Trixie, who stood up here on the balcony. She's got some holy water. She could anoint the bomb, but I don't think he'd appreciate that. I don't know how things work. So she's a townsfolk. She can do plenty of searching. So let's have a look, see what she can find. So she's got a knife, which she can go straight away. So that's one search. Apologies, switch over. She has plenty of shells. She's already got plenty of shells. That's second search. Dynamite! Excellent. Let's get rid of the holy water because we don't need that anymore. And she can get rid of the A-bomb. Nice. 3 AP, we're killing in range 2 or more. That's not going to happen, so that's fine. Let's get rid of that abomination. Okay. Flipping heck. Oh, God. Henry stuck on his own. Darn it. That was her fourth action. Okay. And she gains 5 XP, which will put her up into 18. Ooh, one away from the red zone. Okay. And that flips over, so there is no more A-bomb spawn zone, so that's good. And we've got these brutes to now take care of. Oh, Meg could have taken them out. Anyway, so Thomas is up next. So Thomas has a trusty Schofield that he can use to take out brutes. Unfortunately, he's only running 1 dice, but he has got a reroll, and he's doing the extra point of damage as well. In fact, yeah, it makes a difference. So if it hits on a 4+, has Jeb got something worth him taking instead? Nope. And what about May? Nope. Okay, that's fine. So, and May can charge in and mop up if need be. But he wants some XP anyway, so he's definitely 20 behind. Okay, so doing 3 points of damage. He's only rolling 1 hits on a 4+. So let's go with it. So hits on a 4+. So that's a hit. So that's 1 brute gone. And he'll gain 1 XP. Nice. And second action. 3. Boo. Third action. 2. Boo. Darn it. So it doesn't get any more. Not very good, is it? Shame on you, Thomas. And then May is going to charge in, and she's attacking with her heavy saber bounty weapons. That's 2 dice, hitting on a 3+. So the first, so the run and so the charge, run and attack is hits on a 3+. So that's 2 brutes slain. So that's her first action. Second action is another brute slain, so that's another 3 XP. 1, 2, 3. Oh, she's on the cusp. It's not too bad. Okay, so we're very fast approaching the red zone now, and that's where additional skills come out, or orange zone. So she's got 2 actions left. What to do? I think she'll just move back there. In fact, no, she'll move back there as part of a hit and run, and then she'll move into here and then search. And she finds a twin barrel, which is 2 dice, hitting on a 1+, hitting on a 3+, doing 1 point of damage. Okay, that makes a noise. The noise incidentally moves to here, but there's nothing on the board we need to worry about. So, zombies activate, nothing to activate, and we are now drawing. So, spawn zone 1 is 4 brutes. We aren't into orange yet, so another 4 of these big beasties here. No A-bomb on the board, so we're over to this one, and it is 4 walkers. Okay, this zone over here. Okay. Right. Okay, folks, back to us. The first player marker moves on, so it's no longer Henry, it is now Meg. I mean, Meg is in a prime position to take those brutes straight out, so I think she... May she as well? What's Jeb got? Jeb... He's got a machete. He's a townsfolk rather than a fighter. He's only rolling 1 die. Okay, we're just going to take these things out. So let's throw that, and that will give us 4 XP. Whee! For Meg. Sorry. Just destroyed the world. That's how powerful that stick of dynamite was. So 4 puts her on 11. Okay. I mean, she can see down there, and she does get a free reload, and that would be 2 zones away with the coach gun. So I think that's definitely worth her doing, so we can mop up these walkers. And then Henry could maybe run round rather than jump down, because I think it'll probably get about the same distance. Okay, but anyway, that's fine. Well, let's who else could do them? No one can see them other than her, so she may as well. So she's using her coach gun. She's going to roll 3 dice and hits on a 3+ into these walkers, and she has a reroll as well. So hits on a 3+, not required. It does need re-rolling. Her ability gives her the ability to free reload. So the last one, and that's 3 more XP. Whoops! And the last one, 2 hits, 3 hits. Damn, he is gone. So 1 more XP, and it does need reloading now because she fired it twice. Okay, but she cleared that zone, and we'll do a search. And got a sawn-off shotgun. How is it only 1 point of damage for a sawn-off shotgun? I don't understand. Anyway, 2 dice, hits on a 3+. Okay. Yeah, and Henry hasn't gone, so he'll have the chance to run afterwards. Okay, so we're over to Jeb, and I think we just need to start moving our way out, to be honest with you, away from these spawn points. So Jeb can 1, 2. Oh, sorry. Let me switch. Sorry. So Jeb will 1, 2, 3. So that's Jeb's action. We're now over to Trixie. So Trixie has 4 actions, and she's up on the balcony. She has the ability to jump, so she'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. So she is ready to go. Thomas down here has 3 actions. So his actions will be 1, 2, and 3. So he's ready to go. And then we're down to May, and she's already in the house, and she has 4 actions, so she'll do 1, 2. She's ready to go. So we've got 4 of our 6 back up there now. We're back over to the left hand side, and it's only Henry left to go now. Do you know what? I think I've got to choose between Trixie and Meg. Anyway, maybe I did. So Henry has 3 actions. So 1, 2. Oh no, 4 actions. So 2, 3, 4. Okay, so he can jump down there. Sorry, so he's here now in the middle of the board. Okay, and that's it. There's no zombies to activate. So now we're going to draw zombies. So extra activation, nothing happens. So that's this one here, and then over on here in this spawn zone we have 4 runners. I think that comes under the phrase too little, too late. So we'll put those in. So they're ready to do what little they are going to do. And the first player marker now moves from Meg onto Jeb. So Jeb is up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can all get out now. So Jeb will move out, and then we're over on to Trixie. So Trixie is in green, so she will move out. So she's done. And we're on to Thomas, and he's here ready to go, so he's gone. And we're on to May, and she's also here ready to go, so she is gone. Now we're back over to the left side. We've got Henry, so Henry will do 1, 2, 3, and 4. He's gone. And finally we have Meg, and she will 1, or in fact you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is it, folks. That is Zombicide Undead or Alive. So that is the starting mission. Mission 0 gives you a sense of how the game works, how that all works together in terms of how the different classes collaborate, how the zombies operate. You got to the abomination lots of times. Like I say, this is everything you get in a core box. You can see there were points definitely where it was challenging, and being able to draw things like the dynamite, utilise those search abilities of the townsfolk to be able to get those extra searches, to get that additional pull of items, and then being able to very quickly share between your survivors. The whole mechanism, the system works really well. How to use the holy water to get rid of those corpse piles. If at any point you have 7 spawn points active on the board, then you immediately lose the game. Same as if any survivor dies, you lose the game. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed that. I always love playing this game. I think it's fantastic fun, loving the miniatures, loving the action. And yeah, hopefully see you again at the table soon. Thanks for watching.